Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Monday, man. Check it out. So, I have got a couple of things for you. One, got a little story. Two, I've got a challenge with some prizes for those of you willing to take it. All right, so story number one. Yesterday, I was riding Deer Creek Canyon. It's a steep road climb here local to the Denver area. A lot of cyclists are into it. It's a good gut check, see where you're at. So, at the Chatfield Reservoir, you get onto Deer Creek Canyon Road and you wind your way all the way up through the canyon. And then for those that want, can continue on to this road called High Grade, appropriately named because it's quite steep. And that takes you all the way up to the very top where there's a school. And then from that school, you can turn around and come all the way down, or you can descend down into Evergreen on the backside and make your way back to Denver, which is what I elected to do. But to get to Deer Creek Canyon, I've always driven in the past. Years past, I would drive there and then do the Deer Creek Canyon ride. And sometime back, I decided that I don't need to do that. I can ride from home, especially in the COVID lockdown. So when I ride from home, I'm already at about 25 miles when I hit the start of the climb. And so I get into the climb yesterday, and as I'm in this climb, I'm pedaling pretty well, but my heart rate's not peaked. I'm in for endurance. And as I'm pedaling, I pass, a chunk of riders, a few riders that were off to the side of the road taking a break, and I continue on my way. These riders then, maybe 5 minutes later, I look behind me, and I see these guys closer to me than I really care to see. I continue pedaling, and then they end up passing me, and the person in front, I cannot make this up. It had to been like a 13-year-old kid, the person in front, right? With a couple of road race dudes behind him. And they were hammering and just dusted me. Thinking to myself, they're on race mode. Okay. I start to make some excuses, right? They probably didn't ride here. They drove here, things like that. So I let them go. I get passed again. Now, I'm not being weird here. I usually don't get passed. And so I get passed again. Not only do I get passed again, I get passed with a guy who's got a Camelback on, right? So he's got a hydration pack. And nothing against hydration packs. If you use them, it's great. But if you're like a serious cyclist, you don't use hydration packs. And this guy passes me. And now I'm really in my feelings. I'm thinking to myself, how's this dude passing me? Well, you know what? They must be training for intensity, and they're not training endurance, so that would make sense. So I'm gonna let him go too. That's no big deal. So I keep pedaling. Then I get to the top of Deer Creek Canyon where High Grade is, and these guys have all stopped, and they've kind of stopped together as a cluster, and I think to myself, oh, they were just doing that short bit, so they went really intense. It makes sense why they passed me. I'm doing this long bit. I'm going to go up to High Grade. And then I get onto High Grade, and I start riding, and nobody passes me now, and I'm passing people, and I get to the top there, and I descend into Evergreen. And as I'm doing all this, I'm making all of these stories up in my head about why I got passed, why I was bested in that first spot. I'm making these excuses to make myself feel better, right? I'm saying that they don't know what it's like to deal with X or Y, or they aren't doing this, or they aren't doing that. And there is something to be said about running your own program, right? Like not letting people impact the way you're training, train your plan. But there's also using excuses and telling stories to falsely build yourself up. Man, fitness is super important to me. And then you look and realize, like, without the gym, it's really not that important. Or, man, eating healthy and staying on my program and being dialed and doing my proper stuff, like, that's super important to me. Until it's not that easy anymore because you're also now a teacher or a full-time stay-at-home parent in conjunction with working full-time remotely or whatever your challenges may be, right? Like, we sometimes have told ourselves that we are people. We have built identities. We have built frameworks around who we are and what we are and why we are what we are. And then when a wrinkle is thrown in the way, we kind of look at our behaviors and say, maybe I'm not. I had to be honest with myself on that ride yesterday, and I had to say, maybe you aren't unbelievable on the bike. Maybe that guy's better. Maybe that's just the way it is. Maybe that guy's better, period, and you need to get better. In this pattern that you're working in right now, this isn't good enough. You got to step up, right? Maybe that's the honest answer. Maybe it has nothing to do with where he started, where he's going, where you started, and what you have planned. Maybe you're just simply not as good as you thought you were, and there's a bit of honesty right now, right? So what are you going to do about it? That's the thought that had me fueled, okay? I grabbed my earbuds and I changed. I said, hey, Siri, play old school, play classic rock radio. That's what I said. And then I let, AC/DC and the rest of them build me back up and take me home, right, for the rest of my ride. I don't like telling myself those stories. When I tell myself those stories and then I'm honest about it and I reflect on it, I realize that it was just a story. And when that happens, I know that I've left something on the table. You guys are fit, you guys are healthy, you guys are consistent, you're staple members of the E3 program, right? For those of you that are here, you're staple members of our community. Without the community to lean on, which is something I desperately cannot wait to give back to you, but without that community to lean on, are you still that same character that got you here at either 5:15 in the morning or 5:30 p.m. after a long work day, or at noon when you knew you had to shower and go back to work? Are you the same athlete at home with all of the struggles right now and all of the time constraints and the different variables in your life? Are you the same athlete? Have you been telling that athlete stories for the last month, and because of that, you're falling short of what you're capable of? Those are the questions you need to ask yourself this morning, today, now, so that you can do something about it. Do something about it today. Do the workout we just posted on Instagram, right? Do the run that you wanted to do. It's warm all this week. There's no more snow this week. Let's go. Use it. What are you going to do? You got 30 minutes. What are you going to do with it?